Hello everyone and welcome to this brand new series of EduSearch called Exam Success Series. We thought of this series because a lot of people are going through exams or are going to go through exams in the near future, and we were getting a lot of queries on this from our institution residents as well as residents all over India. So we thought that we will come up with a series where we can help you with different points that we have used in clearing our exams. As I was always told by my teachers, the real exam is when you meet your patient in the outpatients and when you have to diagnose and treat that patient, because at that time the real test is fighting the disease or treating the disease. However, in our career, all of us go through a lot of exams. So, for the DNB, MD, MS, MCH, as well as any person who is going through an exam in surgery or any other field, this video is a kind of primer for you to keep some points in mind when you are very close to your exam, be it a theory or practical. So, this series is going to focus on these points. So now recently we know that all the students are going to go through a theory exam. So we are going to give you some key points, and these videos will be very short and brief because we don't want to waste your time when you are preparing for your exams. So when you are very close to your theory exam, the first point that is very important is to have a plan, because you will need time management and you will need a plan of action as you come closer to your exam. If you don't have a plan, you will not know what to read, and that creates confusion in your mind and that leads to stress. So have a very clear plan of the last 7 days before your exam. That is the first point that I want to give. What I used to do is I used to create a timetable of the last 7 days, where I used to cover say 20 topics in a day for 7 days. So if you cover 20 topics in a day for 7 days, you cover 140 topics, and there is a very high likelihood that you will get around 5 to 6 questions from those 140 topics if you select them well. So this is the first advice, that plan the last 7 days of your reading well, right? Have a very clear concept that if you finish the 20 questions well, you can take a break as well. It is a very common misconception that this is the last 7 days, so let us read as much as we can. But then what happens is that you get tired, and then during the exam, the mood just disappears. The other thing is to keep a blend of topics. There are always some topics that you like and some you don't. So each day keep a blend of topics. Some topics that you like with 1 or 2 topics that you don't like, right? Other way that is very important to make this plan is to include time for meals, times for a walk, and time for sleep. These 3 are very important, and many times as doctors we tend to miss these 3 points in our life as well as in the time before the exam, and that makes you tired. So the first point is plan your last 7 days before the exam well. Time management, eat well and sleep well, right? Eat well and sleep well. 6 to 8 hours of sleep you have to continue. And this is not something that I am just saying. I have cleared 3 exams in the surgery field itself and the major MBBS exam as well. So this is something that I and my colleagues have also done, right? The second point, now we come to the exam day. Always sleep well, as I have said. Once you get your paper in your hand, the second most important point is attempt all questions. And this is one of the key take-home messages of this video, that you have to attempt all questions. So the DNB pattern for specialities is say 10 questions, 100 marks in a paper. Be sure that you attempt all 10 questions. Another thing that I always say is that attempt all questions in a sequence. Many times we feel that we know the 5th better and let us answer the 5th first, but as a person who has checked papers, the questions are fixed in our mind and we have a mindset of our own when we check these papers. So a sequence, if you follow, is better from that point of view, as well as we are aware that the paper has a fixed time limit, right? So even if you leave the question, in the end you are going to face the same time. So that is the second point, that attempt all questions and attempt them in sequence, right? The third point is stick to time. If you have 10 questions, 100 marks and 3 hours, you should not spend more than 15 minutes per answer. I know 180 minutes, so 18 minutes, but no, 15 minutes per answer. Sometimes what happens is that you know a question very well and you tend to write 10 to 12 pages on that question, but that takes 30 to 40 minutes. In this process, you miss out on writing one or two other questions that you may not know that well, but you still know them, right? So always stick to a time limit. Divide your paper as per the time limit. So for example, the DNB pattern, 10 questions, 3 hours. Your time limit has to be 15 minutes per question. If you cannot finish, leave a page and straight away go to the next question, right? After this, one very important point is, whenever you start writing an answer, what process goes through our mind is that you need time to process. Okay, don't be in a hurry to just start writing, right? Take a pause. Always take a pause. Whether you are in your outpatients department seeing a patient, whether you are operating as a surgeon, or whether you are doing any angiography, you are reporting a scan, or you are in an exam, right? Always read a question, take a pause, revise the answer in your mind, frame the headings of the answer very well, right? If the answer has good headings, the examiners have a very common tendency of skipping the matter, right? And this may help you get marks. So use headings in your answer and take a pause before starting the answer. Okay. So for example, if you have a question on a surgery, say laparoscopic gallbladder surgery, your headings can be: what is this surgery, what are the indications, how to give anesthesia, consent, patient position, important steps which should include critical view of safety, bailout strategies, right? Then go into recovery, follow up and complications. So this is how you can pattern an answer. If you write 2 points in each of these headings, this has easily given you 5 to 6 marks, right? So headings are very important, and highlight those headings because they should come in the mind of the examiner immediately when he opens the paper. Okay. One another key point is to use diagrams freely, right? In your paper, always use diagrams freely, whether it's an anatomy question or a surgery question. Like the gallbladder question that I told you, you can easily draw critical view of safety, and that very clearly gives the examiner an idea that you know this topic well, right? So diagrams bring across the point very well, and you should use them freely, right? Again, check your exam guidelines whether you can use color pens or not, because if you can, what we used to do is we used to use red for the artery and blue for the vein, green for the bile duct if you have question relating to the bile duct, right? Just a brief recap before we go ahead. We have seen that plan the last 7 days of your exams well, attempt all questions, attempt them in sequence, right? Always draw diagrams, highlight, use headings, practice the pause, right? So we have already seen around 6 points that will help you in your exam. I will again stress on the point of time management, and this is because a lot of us have a tendency of missing questions because we don't have time in the end, right? Other important point is to be on point, right? In exam, don't try to write stories, right? I saw a patient, then patient had this, then this is what happened. Stories are not required in your paper. You have to write very concise points, right? For again, taking the example of a surgery question, anesthesia general. This is enough. You don't need to write this surgery is done under general anesthesia, right? Because this takes a lot of time. It is cumbersome for the examiner to read. So it is important that you cover all points, but be very brief, concise, and to the point, right? Other thing is highlight if you have used recent data or trials in your answer, right? This is more for super speciality people, but even in speciality, say you have used Strasbourg's paper in critical view of safety for gallbladder, or say you have used a national data on a question on diabetes or hypertension, and if it is recent 2020 or 2021, you should highlight that paper or an article, because that shows that you have read that article, right? In exam it is not important that you know everything. Of course that is important, but it is not as important as projecting what you know, right? Because the examiner does not know you. As an examiner, I don't know who the person is who is writing the answer. So the credibility of a person in a paper based exam is only through the paper, right? So I don't know if you have read or not, but if your answer shows that you have read, you have read, right? So be concise, be on topic. Don't go tangential in your answers. Okay, never go tangentials. If you have been asked a question on lap cholecystectomy, don't start writing on gallstones, right? Don't start writing on acute cholecystitis. They are just indications. Your question is on surgery, so focus on surgery. I know as doctors the handwriting can be an issue, but in exams don't do that. Clear and legible handwriting is better. Okay, be on topic and use latest data. So these are also some of the points that are very important. Lastly, sometimes it may happen that the first paper is not very well managed by you and you have 3 more papers to go. The simple advice is, once you finish a paper, don't discuss it till you finish the entire exam. This is a very common tendency of all the students, that we discuss the entire paper in the duration of exam. This is not helpful, because God forbid if you have done a mistake in a question and it gets highlighted when you discuss, this can affect your morale in the next 3 papers. Give positive reinforcement to yourself. If you finish the timetable, you can watch a movie. It is not guilty to not watch a movie. Don't feel that it is wrong to watch a movie if you are 5 days before the exam. If you finish your schedule well on time, you can very well watch a movie or spend time with friends or do whatever you want. Take rest, take a walk, right? Play musical instruments, whatever you like you can do if you finish your timetable, and that will positively reinforce your mind. So that is also very important, right? So these are the key points. Just to summarize the take home message for you: plan the last 7 days of your exam well, whether you are in a school, college, medical, non-medical. For everyone, last 7 days before the exam are very important, so plan them well. When you are on the exam, attempt all questions. Don't read the entire paper. Read the first question, write the first answer, then go to the second question. Stick to time. 10 questions, 3 hours, 15 minutes per question. So stick to time, right? Use headings. Headings give you clarity in your answer and examiners like them, right? Use diagrams, very helpful. Use algorithms, tables, flowcharts. Algorithms, tables, flowcharts, everything help in enhancing the effect of your answer, right? Don't be tangential in your answers. Stick to the point. Be concise. You don't need to write full lines. Anesthesia general is okay. You don't need to write patient will be operated under general anesthesia, right? So that is very important. Last but not the least, eat well, sleep well, be calm, don't take stress. This is not the last exam of your life. Does not matter if there are issues in the first paper, you always have the second paper. There is a lot more to life than the exam. So don't take stress, and even if things don't go well, as humans we can always try again, right? So don't take stress. Don't take stress, especially after the first paper, and don't take stress in life. Plan things well, do your best, give your best, and leave the rest to God, right? So best of luck to each and every one of you who is going to write an exam. This is sign off from EduSearch Clinics. I am Dr. Gunjan Desai. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel if you like the content, and spread the word to your colleagues. Thank you.